Hey there. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to change the change the base of a power. So let's get started. Let me get my tool here, my Epic pen, and let's get that. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so for this one here, the way you do this is you'd write down, you will put the 9 in brackets, and then you would put the exponent on the outside there. And then what you have to do is just work inside the brackets and pretend this 2 is not even there. Work inside the brackets and then distribute 2 later. So, for instance, inside this bracket here, we can say that for 9, it will be 3 to the power of 2. That's 9. And that 2 is still on the outside. And from the previous lesson, you can distribute powers in such a manner. So you would, this will be 3 to the power of 2 times 2. So it'll be 3 to the power of 2 times 2, which would give you 3 to the power of 4. There we go. Now it's to a power of 3. For this one here, I would not give this question because this is a little bit confusing, but I'll do it here just so you guys know how to do it. So you want it to be a power 4, a power of 4, something. So basically, um, not a power of 4, but you want to be 4 to the power of something. So you do the same thing, put it in brackets, and then put the 4 on the outside. And then you just have to work inside the bracket. So I know that 4 to the power of 1/2 because the root of 4 is 2. If you remember, so if you root 4, that gives you 2. And the root is basically you can write that you can rewrite that out as 1/2, which is 2, which is the same thing. So anyways, I wrote that down there. So this is actually 2, and you put the 4 on the outside, and this would be 4, and you distribute the power on the outside, distribute it inside, so it would be 4 over 2, because you multiply it, and therefore it will be 4 to the power of 2. Done and done. Let's take a look at the next problem. So let's clear the screen, and let me just grab this. Okay, so for this, to solve these problems, the bases have to be the exact same thing. So the base is the bottom number, the number here, and that's the exponent right there. So when the bases are the same, then you can set the exponents equal to each other. So under these conditions. And the best way to do the best way to understand it is to actually do these problems. I tried to just look at the answers and write the test, but it doesn't really work. You have to physically do the problems to fully understand how this works. Okay, let's do these problems here. Okay, so I can tell right away that, hold on. The pause doesn't work. Let me just get this. And okay, so for this problem here, we're just gonna write down 4x. And you may need to play, like, the base will be 4. It'll be 2 or 4. In this case, it'll be 4. And you have to figure out how many times you have to multiply 4 to get to 64. And I know you gotta play around with the calculator. So I was playing around with my calculator. I know that 4 times 4 times 4 gives me 64. So you can write down here 4 and then to the power of 3. So because 4 times 4 times 4 gives you 64. So now the bases are the same. Once the bases are the same, you can set the exponents equal to each other. So it will be x equals 3. And you're finished. Same thing here. you write down 3x plus 5. We're just writing it down. And I know from experience that 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. If you don't already know that, then you have to play around with your calculator and see if it works out. So you could try this 3 times 3, and then 3 times 3 times 3, or 3 times, or just try some numbers. So in this case, so I'm gonna do this the long way. I'm gonna put this in brackets. It's gonna be 27. Put that in brackets. In the outside here, I'm gonna put an x minus 1. On here, the same thing, x plus 5. And I know that 27, I know that 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So I can write in the brackets, I can say 3 to the power of 3 gives me 27. And that's still on the outside. So what happens is this here is multiplied by this here, by 3. So 3 times this entire thing, x minus 1. That's how you distribute these exponents. So let's rewrite this out again. X plus 5. And so when this is multiplied to each other, I can tell it's going to be 3 brackets x minus 1. This is a lot of writing. 3x plus 5. And when you distribute it, it will be 3 to the x, and then minus 3. Because you're distributing it to this x, and then distributing the 3 to the negative 1. And so now the bases are the same, so now I can drop the base, because they're exactly the same, and just write out the exponents. 3x, 3. And if you rearrange the equation around, let's bring this 3 to that side and this x to this side. So this would be 3 here, because we dropped this to that side. So it'd be 3x minus x, and that would be 2x, 3, and divide both sides by 2. And that should be 3 over 2 equals x, because this 2 cancels out. Hope that's the answer. Anyways, you get the idea. So here you may have to do both of them at the same time. I know that 2 times 2 gives you 4, and I know that 2 times 2 times 2 gives you 8. So, and again, I know this by experience, and if you don't already know that, then you may have to play around with your calculator to get it. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do 2 to the power 2 is e4, and put everything else on the outside. And over here, same thing. 2 to the power 3. I know that gives me 8, and n plus 1 here. Oops, let me just stop that. And now what you do is you distribute this here, you distribute that, so it'll be 2, and it'll be 4n minus 6. Over here would be 2 to the power of 3n plus 1. Or that 1 will be 3. There we go. The bases are the same, so you can drop the base and just use the exponents of 4n minus 6, then 3n plus 3. There we go. Just rearranging these numbers. 4n minus 3n equals 3 plus 6. This will give you n. 6, 7, 8, 9. So n equals 9. This one, I think this is wrong, but you sort of get the idea how it's done. Okay, let's clear this. Okay, and let's move up to see if there's any problems. Some more here. Okay, this is the last one. Solve the problem. Well, this is done the exact same way. Um, let's do this here. Okay, so I'm not gonna do anything. This is already as low as it'll get. So you can write down here 2D, and over here you can work that out. So I'm gonna put the form brackets, and it'll be D minus 3 2D equals, and I know the four that 2 times 2 is 4. I know that by experience. So you can 2 to the power of 2, that gives me 4. And you can write down here D minus 3. And then we can start distributing the 2 to this exponent. So 2D equals 2 to the power of 2D, and then minus 6, because 2 times negative 3 is minus 6. And now we have the same base. Now we can drop the base and just have D equals 2D minus 6. And we just rearrange the equation. I'm going to bring the 6 over this side and the D to this side. So it'll be 6 positive 6, because this was negative here. Goes to the other side, becomes positive, equals 2D minus D. And 6 is still there. And then 2D minus D is just 1D, or just D. And that is the answer. Okay, I think that's about it. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. And yeah.